Who wanna have 10,000 agents?
The only agent in the company that's a 9-time icon agent.
8 times.
8 times. This year's gonna be 9. Yeah. She's still stay in personal productions and agent attraction. What is the rev share potential for 10,000 agents?
Oh, I want to answer that. All right, everybody, please say hi.
Elizabeth, hi.
Hi. How are you?
Love to hear your story about how you started the AHA Club as well. Since we had it in the Houston area last year.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. So.
I know, they keep trying to get me down there. Hi, how are you? And I'm going to get down there one of these days. Where do you want me?
Yeah, in the middle. All right.
Whatever you want, I'm an open book. You got it. So we're all good.
This is so cool. You think you need a mic or you got this?
I don't need a mic, but can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Then we don't miss it.
It's like family. This is fun.
This is your family.
This is your family.
We are all under one family. Cozy. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Are all of y'all out of Houston?
Dallas, Austin, Texas. Yeah.
Oh, from everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. So we did a little team retreat for our leaders coming from Houston, Austin, Dallas, and then we've been here since yesterday to do a lot of team building activities, and then we give a hint to everybody that's gonna be a celebrity.
Oh, sorry. Just Elizabeth, just me.
Sharing all about agent attractions and how to get to 8 times icon and 10,000 agents.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let May and Joanna, our top 2 leader and agent take the stage. But Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time today.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
All right.
love this. I'm
Thank
glad
you,
it worked
thank
out.
you. All right.
Yeah.
So May, please go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. Just a little bit to introduce about Elizabeth Riley to everyone. We all know Elizabeth Riley is only one with 8 times icon.
Actually, the last one's under contract for 9.
Woo!
Nine, right? It's gonna be good.
Agents with an organization of amazing 10,000 agents at eXp.
More than that now, but yeah.
More than that. So what is it right now?
I'm at 11.5.
Wow. Who want to grow up to be Elizabeth? Yeah. So my question is, it can be a lot easier nowadays to tell about, have you heard of eXp? Because eXp was able to establish its brand internationally, but 9 years ago, then it must be harder for you to bring up with the idea of eXp. Can you just tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah.
What did you see in eXp that you wanna, okay, I'm getting in with this brokerage.
Sure.
And what is your story?
You want me to tell the story about Glenn and how we all started? Would that help?
That would be lovely.
I don't know who knows what, so I never want to be redundant. But so, first of all, I'm honored that I'm here with y'all. Thank you for having me. This is so fun. I've been in real estate 18 and a half years. And I got licensed in Georgia first. My husband and I were investors. I'm actually from Tomball. Who's from Tomball, Houston area, right? Okay, there you go. Okay. My husband and I went to Texas A&M, and then he was transferred to Atlanta, Georgia for Dell. He worked for Dell Computer, actually for 25 years. So we were moved there, and we were investors, and my CPA told us, one of you needs to get your real estate license. I had no interest in real estate. My husband said, you're getting your real estate license. I work for Dell. I have the benefits, and so I got my license. Not very happy about it. But I really believe in relationships, right? When you build relationships, the business is going to come. And so I just told my friends that I knew, hey, I've got my license. If you ever need anything, let me know. And so that's how I built my business. Just, hey, I want to buy a house. Okay, let's go find a house. And it's not really like a job when you love what you do. And so I built my business in Georgia, became one of the top producers in my market center. I was with Keller Williams because at the time they were the only one that would let me go part-time. And I was pregnant with my first child, and I just didn't want to do it full-time because, again, I wasn't excited. But then when you realize, you're like, oh, this is fun, and then you work a lot more than full-time. Yeah. And then in 2008, who was in business in 2008? None of y'all? Okay, y'all remember 2008? How bad the market was? Y'all heard about it? Okay, so in 2008, we were transferred to Austin, Texas. And so I had to start my business all over again. I knew nobody, and everybody said I was crazy for getting into real estate because it was a horrible time in the market. And so I thought, it's opportunity. If you look at it this in opportunity. Other people are putting their head in the sand and they're worried about everything wrong. What are the good things you can look at? I started meeting people. I walked around my neighborhood we had 44 townhomes, and I knocked on the door to get to know my neighbors, not for business. And they said, "You're getting in the real estate business?" And I said, "It's opportunity. People are still buying and selling. They still have to move. I need to meet people." So I stayed with Keller Williams and I built my business. So in 2014, we had 650 agents in my market center, and I was number one. And I didn't know I was number one because my business is all 100% referral. So I wasn't really tracking my numbers because I feel like if you treat your clients like they're your one and only, the business is going to come. So I was number one out of 650 agents, and my husband said, "We're going to celebrate." And I said, "I'm getting out of the business." He said, "Why?" And I said, "Because at Keller Williams," and I loved Keller Williams, but it was just a different model, right? I was only as good as my next transaction. I was fired after every deal closed, and I had to go find more business. And I was on a hamster wheel. And I had 4 children at the time. My husband traveled internationally all the time, and I was burned out. And every year, I would get a baseball cap that said Capper. And that doesn't pay your bills. That doesn't create legacy. That doesn't create financial freedom, right? I tried to buy a Keller Williams. None of them were available. A lot of risk, a lot of expense. And I was just bored and I was uninspired. And my Georgia relationships that I was in business with, they called me and they said, "We could all work together again." We went to this company called eXp. I was like, "I'm not interested in eXp." That was when the stock was 10 cents, by the way. I said, "I'm not interested. I'm not interested." Now when they called me and I'm uninspired and I'm bored and I just want to be back in the business and love my business again, they said, "Would you meet with somebody?" And it's just like any of y'all. You said, "Would you meet with somebody?" Sometimes you don't ask questions, right? And so Glenn Sanford came into Austin to meet with me. Now, everybody says, I saw your eyebrows go up. You're like, "Glenn Sanford?" Okay. Glenn Sanford at the time had 400 agents at eXp. My market center had 650. Okay. So it wasn't what it is now, but I said, "Sure, I'll meet with Glenn Sanford." And Glenn met with me and he showed me the world and the avatars, and I didn't get it. And I'm like, okay. But what he also showed me was the trends report that Stefan Swanepoel, do y'all know who that is? Stefan Swanepoel? Do y'all know that? Do you know that name? He is the trends expert in real estate across all brokerages. So when NAR is looking for stats or trends in the real estate industry, they go to Stefan. Or RE/MAX or Keller Williams or any brokerages, he is the expert, and he's not tied to any brokerage. And he writes a trends report every single year, and it's about $150 or $250. But he was comparing all the different models, Keller Williams, RE/MAX. Not that one was better than the other, they were just all different. And there was an article that said, "You don't know about this company yet, it's called eXp Realty. It's the one to watch, it's the Amazon.com of real estate." And I was like, what if it does something like Amazon did? Okay? Remember Amazon, everybody said they were crazy for trying to sell books online. And look at them now. They're huge. I was like, what if that happened? That would be really cool. And then you have the other side that's, "Oh, but what if that doesn't work?" And the other side that said, what if that doesn't work? I could go to Keller Williams or Coldwell Banker or any other company or start my own brokerage. Everybody needs agents. But what if this works? I talked to a number of people. I said, "Hey, I'm thinking of making a change. You want to tell me what your thoughts are on this? You seek wise counsel." And they said, "Yeah, okay, we're bored. We want to do that." And I was like, "I don't know what I don't know. I've only been at one company for 10 years. So I went to 2 people that I respected as mentors in my business. One was my team leader in Georgia, and he told me I was crazy. He said, "Do not do this. You've done a great job with your business. Don't do this. It's going to be a horrible decision." I said, "Okay, thank you. I just want to know why." And then I went to my team leader in Austin, Texas, who had just retired, and I said, "I need you to tell me what you think." And that was Gene Frederick. So I went to Gene Frederick not to recruit Gene Frederick. I went to Gene Frederick because I had a relationship with him and I trusted him from a business standpoint. And I knew that he would tell me the truth and he would show me the questions that I needed to ask and dig more into. But I never ever thought that Gene would ever come out of retirement because he was set, right? From the outside, everything looks different than what's reality. And he was. He owned 7 market centers. And so we met for 5 months and he would say, "Okay, ask these questions." And then I'd meet with Jason Gessing. okay, go ask Jason these questions. Ask Glenn these questions. And then finally one day Jason came into town. I was like, you just meet with him and ask him questions? And Gene called me later. He's like, I'm playing basketball with Jason. We'll talk later. We're going to do this. I was like, we're going to do what? He goes, we're going to go to this company called eXp. I'm bored. I'm uninspired. So 400 agents. I'm agent 466. Everybody said we were crazy. Now we really thought, Gene will tell you different, but we really thought we were going to get to like maybe 1,000 agents, maybe 5,000 agents. But it wasn't about the bodies or the head count. It was about changing people's businesses, which in result would change their lives, right? So now we have ownership. Now we're getting stock. Now we're getting collaboration like nobody else has, because you're opening the playbook. When you own something, you treat it differently. And so we grew very quickly. Now it was very challenging at the beginning. Nobody knew who eXp was.
No doubt.
But nobody cares. So I'm Lux Property Group. Nobody cares. People are going to do business with those they know and trust anyway.
Right.
They don't care if you're A, B, Z, D, L, Y brokerage. They don't care about that. All they know is, I want to work with Elizabeth. I want to work with John. I want to work with Tammy. I just got back to the basics and I built my business, but I focused on production. Glenn told me about revenue share, and I told Glenn Sanford, y'all, I told Glenn I was not interested in rev share. He laughs at that now. But because I didn't, Keller Williams, any of y'all at KW? Any of y'all were at KW? Yes? Okay. They had the profit share, and that's what I understood. And profit share wasn't going to give you freedom. So I thought it was the same thing. So I just built my business, and if I build my business, people would organically follow me. The first full year at eXp, I had 2,000 agents, and I was number one. The second year, eXp had 5,000 agents, and I was number one. And I had to realize, what's different? I'm still the same person, but my environment's changed. The people that are around me are changing, and I came to the company because of the stock. I came to the company because of the Icon program. Because what if that worked? I was the first icon ever named, which was awesome. And it's freedom. And then watching what that happens in the stock, but I'm still in production because I'm a real estate agent, just like all of you. And if I stay in production, people are organically drawn to me because they're watching me and they're saying, what are you doing? And why are you there? Why is Elizabeth Riley at eXp? And it opens up the opportunity for questions. So I have, if you look at the organizations, and I know we're going to talk agent attraction, I'll talk whatever you guys want to talk about, but I have 72 people on my front line. That sounds like a lot, but I've been at this company 8.5 years. So you can see that wasn't really my focus. But those 72 people, and Gene's only one of them, okay? But those 72 people came to the company because of the relationship they had with me, and they've cascaded out to over 11,000 now. So that is changing people's life in a bigger way. It's easier now to talk about the company because we have more resources. We have more amazing people. But I tell people, don't eXp on people, right? I don't talk about eXp because it's not about eXp. It's about the platform and asking the right questions to see, what are you looking for? Oh, great, this is awesome. Look at what we have here. You might want something different. Look at what we have for you. So it's not talking about the company. It's talking about what we can all do when we're locking arms together and collaborating together to build our business in each way, because success looks different for everybody. Does that help?
Yes.
That was quite a story to
Yeah,
tell.
it's a lot, but
That's amazing. Because sometimes we can be like, oh, you want to work on production? I'm working on production. I don't have time for building people, building rev share.
Yeah.
But that's amazing to hear it from Elizabeth of how you're able to be 9 times icon agents and then still building your organization of almost 12,000 agents. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, now let's go into rev share, how to grow your own group. In order to get that 10,000 agents, how do you get started with your first 100 agents?
Yeah.
Because we all want to be at the first 100 first before we can find our leaders, before we can find our generals to grow and grow more. So what do you see in people? What would be your motivation to bring somebody over and share about them about eXp?
even before the first 100, it's the first one.
Yes.
It's about conversations. It's about asking questions. People are going to do things for their reasons, not yours. So if you just talk to people and tell them all these things, like Glenn's brilliant, but Glenn just talked to me about revenue share. I completely missed it. If he would have asked more questions, which he did, because we were building a relationship, We could have gone down that path. So it's really finding the person and then asking those questions and loving on those people. My 72 are tight with me. I'm always masterminding with them. They always have access to me. And if I can love on my front line, then it teaches them how to love on their line, and then it cascades down and everybody loves on each other. It's really the first person. And what's really surprising is a lot of my builders and my generals, I would have never thought. I never thought that they would have stepped up in the way that they did because they built their business. Most of my front line are all cappers. Probably half of them are icon agents. So I was attracting people because of business. Now, that's not the only way to do it. There are people that just really understand revenue share and they're like, wait, I want to do that. And that's awesome. And there's a space for all of that too. But if you're just talking to the person and asking the questions, you figure out what is going to help them succeed and what is going to give them financial freedom, which is going to lead to time freedom. So I am very involved. Don't just bring somebody to the company and say, okay, good luck. You've got to plug them in. You've got to show up. If they don't plug in and show up, they have to be invested in their success as well. But I'm always talking to my front line. They're my family, my organization. I'm doing masterminds every week with my front line. Every Friday, 9 a.m., they know that. Because what was happening is they didn't have access to me all the time, or they were asking me questions. I'm like, that's a great question. And I could answer it for them, but then I realized not everybody else is benefiting. Or I'm only one voice. What if Keith has a different perspective? That's how we build and grow. So I've built my leaders over time, but we're very intentional with our conversations. And we're very consistent. It's about consistency. You can't just meet with somebody and then be like, okay, we'll meet later on, because later on never comes, or it's 6 months later. Every 9 a.m., they know that we're on our huddle. Right? And then every Thursday afternoon, they know we're meeting in person for those that want to focus on attraction, because not everybody wants to focus on attraction. And then you get them excited, and then their business is building. Hey, Elizabeth, I really want to talk to this other person. She wants to talk to us. I don't know what to talk about. I was like, great, introduce them to me. So I do third-party validations all the time as well. So find the people in your org, because even if I'm trying to attract somebody from my front line, can I talk about eXp? Absolutely. Can I talk about all the things that we have at a very high level? Absolutely. But it's much more powerful when I bring in somebody else. May, okay, can you come in and help me? They're hearing it from you because you're not as close to it. Leverage, and I don't say leverage in a bad way, I say leverage in a positive way. Leverage your partners. Jean calls me now. Hey, Elizabeth, I've got a huge producer. She's a strong female. I need you to talk to her. Jean's not going to connect with her in the way I'm going to connect with her. Or if I have somebody and I'm like, Jean, this person just wants to talk about rev share. They just want to talk about numbers, and Jean will talk to them. So find the people that can talk to the person that you want to talk to. But the other thing that's really, and who asked about ahas? You asked about ahas. Mm-hmm. What's really been changing the game for not only me, but people around the country are the aha clubs. Mm-hmm. Invite people. Invite to events. People were doing they were not ahas, they were doing lunch and learns. Mm-hmm. That works for some. That does not work for me. Do not bring me into a training room and say, oh, we're going to talk about training, and then lock the door and say, okay, now we're going to talk about eXp and feel like trapped. Nobody wants that. But if you invite people to education, what are people in the real estate business for? To sell more homes. Mm-hmm. Is our market strong right now? Not really. But are things still moving? Absolutely. And can we share things that we're doing in our model in our company that's making people think differently? Yeah, so we do a lot of events. I started doing ahas for eXp only, because everybody was feeling like they were on an island, and it was virtual, and it was COVID, and right? People needed that connection. What I'm going to encourage y'all to do is not be siloed. So not just have your group. I don't do that in Austin. If you're eXp, you're eXp. I don't care if you're in my organization or not, because let's play like you're not in my org. If you're not in my org, but you win, I still win, because we own this company, right? It's a bigger play. So we started doing it with just eXp agents, just so everybody would get to know each other and feel connected, and retention. And then what was happening is people said, can we bring our friends? They're not getting that from their brokerage. I'm like, absolutely, because we do not talk eXp. I don't even announce myself as eXp. I'm Elizabeth Riley, Lex Property Group, right? And what's happening is consistently every Wednesday, second Wednesday of every month, at Austin Board of Realtor, everybody knows that we're going to have a production-focused meeting. And now there's so much value in what we're doing that our board has it on their calendar. So other people are thinking it's a board meeting, a realtor board. I'm like, okay, sure, come on in. And they get bigger and bigger. Last week, I think it was the week before was mine, and I had 75 people in there that we did in less than a week. But it's super production focused. And so AHAs are a great way. And so now my other agents that are shy in this topic, they're not shy, but they're shy in this topic and they don't want anybody to feel like they're recruiting them. It's so much easier for them to say, oh my gosh, there's this awesome training on the disc profile, how to motivate people without using money. Don't you think that would be helpful when you're talking to your buyers and sellers in this market? They're like, yes, please. We'd love for you to be a part of it. And now they're inviting. And people are showing up. And the last one we came to, they came up to us and 3 people were like, oh my gosh, we're joining. We're like, oh, that wasn't the intent. Find opportunities where you can invite people and show them how we collaborate. Don't tell them. Don't tell them what we do. Show them. When you show somebody something, it's much more powerful.
That's amazing. I think that we were able to get inspired by your foundation that you're able to put into the how to grow your revenue share. We actually with Team Legacy, this is exactly what we're doing right now, right?
Good.
We follow Elizabeth with the AHA Club. We started last year, started putting
Love
it out more to the agents, find a way to add more values, leverage, work collaboration with other agents, and that's been working amazing, right, Joanna?
Yeah, that's been great. We've really been able to put everybody together and just continue to do that.
Isn't
Yeah.
it fun?
Yeah.
It's so much fun because then everybody's excited and then that's where
Yeah, and instead of,
Things
as
happen.
you said, eXp is just showing them value and they just come without
Yeah.
that pressure of, oh, they're going to start selling
Right.
in eXp. So that's been great.
Right.
And another question we have for you is, like, how do you keep yourself motivated? That's one of the things. And how do you keep your agents motivated? Because we have a lot of turnout rates and people that leave and go. So what are the things that you do to inspire them, keep them motivated, and just keep growing your organization?
That's a great question. 2023 was hard for a lot of people. And I have an app that is called Reach that I put all of my agents in, and I'm staying in touch with them all the time because I never want to forget somebody. I'm like, how are you doing? And I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. It texts them individually, so it's not like a big group text. But then I can push one message like, how are you doing? What can I do for you? And it goes to everybody individually. And so then I can get in dialogue and stay close to them on that. We've got coachings, we've got trainings, we've got all these other things. What I was trying to do was do it myself. And I realized I was getting burned out. Like, I'm one person, right? My husband, I retired my husband, by the way, because of eXp. I retired my husband 2.5 years ago. And so now he's able to help with the kids. And it gives me a lot more freedom now to pour into my groups like I wanted to because I couldn't do it that much before. But what motivates me is seeing everybody win. I've won the game in so many ways. The company has given me freedom, and now I do things because it's not a job. When you truly love it and you truly love what you're doing, I work more now than I probably ever did before because I see the opportunity that it allows for me and so many others in the industry, and we're doing something nobody's ever done. And it's fun. It's exciting to see what Glenn's going to come up with next. For me to stay motivated, if you know the DISC profile, I'm a high S, and I just love to support and I love to help. And when I see people truly taking that to heart and truly engaging, then that keeps me motivated. To motivate others, I have one-on-one, not coaching, I don't say I'm a coach, but I have one-on-one goal setting calls with them. Each year, each quarter, we check in. What can I do? And you'll be surprised, not everybody's motivated by money. It's not all about money. But when you really understand one-on-one, because if I'm in a group setting, you're not going to all tell me what your true goals are. But if I'm one-on-one, you're going to tell me. And then that way I can go back and say, oh my gosh, because of the fact that you said you wanted to do this, let's implement these. Or I know a great thing you can do, or get into this training, or get into that. So I just try to motivate them as well. And I show them I work hard. And then we celebrate each other. We do gratitude lunches. We do events, fun events, family events, just things like that. Motivation is different for everybody. But I just try to show up in whatever way they need me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, and another question we had is in regards to, I've seen you before in other conferences in Orlando,
Oh,
and
okay.
one of the things that I was very impressed by you is I know you use a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
And I know you said at the beginning you were not like focused on revenue share or
Yeah.
that. So when that changed and you started growing, what was that moment that you needed leverage and how have you leveraged yourself to be able to grow to such a big organization?
Yeah, leverage looks different too, and it changes, and I'm starting to evaluate what more I need. When I started getting pulled into speaking around the country and doing different things with eXp, which I love to do, I realized my production was suffering a little bit. I have a self-organized team. So what the cool thing about eXp is we have 3 different team structures. I have a self-organized team, not because I don't want to be boss. I don't want to be telling people, okay, you have to make this many calls. Did you not make this calls? Why did you? I don't want to do that. I want us all to win together, and we're all adults, right? So I have a self-organized team where 2 agents that partner with me. One does all my listings with me. One does all of my buyers with me, and they're my boots on ground. And we do referrals back and forth. But we market ourselves so the community and the consumers see us as a team, the Lux Property Group, and we look bigger when we're up against these other boutique brokerages. But they're my boots on ground. I leave tomorrow for New York, and Leanne's going to be running with 3 of our buyers, and Meredith's going to be launching 3 of our listings. And I'm still really involved, but they're my boots on ground. And it benefits them because they don't want to lead generate. But I'm lead generating because I'm 100% referral because people know me and they send me business all the time. And so I'm like, okay, great, we can help you with that. We have a TC, transaction coordinator, that helps with all of our transactions. And she's been with me 12 years maybe. I trust her completely. And then I realized, okay, now I need more leverage from my organization. So I have 2 virtual assistants, Annika and Sabrina. And what they've done is as we were growing, onboarding. Anybody have issues with onboarding sometimes? Yeah, it's a mess, yeah.
It's been getting better.
It's getting better. But there's still a lot of opportunity, y'all. Lots of opportunity there. I was with Michael Valdez this past week in Orlando, and I was like, okay, I know we got work to do. So we were talking about that. But they're listening, which is awesome. I have Annika who helps with onboarding with the agents that are coming on in my org. And if there's some problems, they can troubleshoot, because what was happening is they were all calling me. And then I'm going into the broker room, and that's just not best time spent for me. So Annika helps there, but what Annika's also doing is the training schedules. Do y'all get any of my emails? You're all in my org?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get my emails with the training schedules each week?
That I don't. Yeah.
Huh.
Where do we need to sign up?
It's not that you need to sign up. It should be pulling everybody from my org. All right, let me look into that, because we have all the training schedules that go out every single week. And so they manage that. They celebrate my cappers and my icons. So every week I'm now getting reports, like anybody in my organization, if they're a capper. So then they get an email out
I saw
from me.
Jean did it on a workplace when, for example, if there's like cappers, then there's
Yeah.
like a celebration icon, and
Yeah.
there's a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see it on workplace.
So
but
this is new that the company's starting to do, but my VAs have created their own. So we celebrate our cappers, we celebrate our icons, we do things like that. And I can't obviously do that without leverage. I have my TC, I have my assistant K, and then I've got my 2 agents, and then I've got my 2 VAs. And so I'm hoping to add more VAs. I need somebody that really is focused on website and somebody who's really focused on YouTube. But those aren't my priorities right now. But that's on my to-do list for 2024. Yeah. Virtual assistants have made a big difference. You get some great
We've
ones.
been talking about virtual assistants
Yeah.
and how cool it is to have somebody get on and do the things that we don't have to spend our time,
Yeah.
and we can do our focus on other tasks.
And my big concern was making sure everybody was well taken care of. And I'm saving a lot of money from if I had somebody full-time here for what they're getting paid there. And I pay mine when I bonus them, but that is changing their lifestyles over there. I had to really understand that, because I don't want to ever take advantage of people. And my 2, Sabrina actually was working with me part-time, and she was working in another real estate team out of, I don't know where. I think it was a Keller Williams team out of Georgia. And she loved the communication and the collaboration and everything we were doing, that she quit that other team and she's with me full-time. The virtual assistants, I use Sphere Rocket. Justin Nelson's an eXp agent. His dad, there's a bunch of them. They work with all the eXp agents. But it can really change your business and help you scale and focus on where you want to focus on, because they take the mundane projects off your plate. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. And then just going back to this year for 2024, we were talking about what would be just like productions. There's a different lead generations when it comes to bringing in agents over or attracting agents over. For today or for 2024, what would be some of the lead generations when it comes to agent attraction that you think will work best for anyone who want to grow their organization?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love this. Look at all the cows. They were like,
the
lunch is
view.
ready. I was like, where are all these cows just came out? I was like, oh, he's bringing in hay. Okay. I grew up y'all know Tom Ball. I grew up like this.
Airbnb is actually run by one of our top producers.
This
here.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good to know.
Here.
That's an interesting question because I see a lot of things that people are doing for lead generation for agent attraction and it makes me cringe. But it's just because of my personality, right? And it works for some. Like I said, it works for some. I've got one of my producers that has been with me, he just hit a year, and he already has 100 people in his organization, which is crazy to me. And I talked to him, I'm like, what are you doing? I just call agents. I'm just calling them, and I'm talking to them about their business. He was a huge producer. He did 80 million at his old company, and he paid his company $210,000 that year, y'all. $80 million. I was like, what would you do with $210,000? And he goes, I'd buy an investment property. I was like, we need to talk then. And then when he saw the numbers, he joined our company. He capped in a month, iconed in 3, and in a year has 100 people because he's so excited. But that works for him. That's authentic to him to call somebody. He's, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is what's going on. How's your business going?
Right.
But he's not, but I will never do that.
Yeah.
I don't even like talking on the phone. If my mom calls me, I'm like, okay, get to the point. What do you need? I'm not going to call people. He converted a 20-year veteran, 20-year real estate mother-daughter team from a lease. Somebody called off of a lease and he flipped the conversation and he all of a sudden had them at eXp Con and they joined us. I'm like, how did you do that? So what I would say is figure out what's authentic to you. If you're good at calling people and having a conversation, say, how's your business? We should sit down and talk about what you're going to do in 2024 different from 2023. Don't say, how's your business? Let's go talk about eXp. Again, they don't care. So for me, I don't know if I can answer that question completely except for what I'm doing. And I'm just having conversations with people as far as, hey, it's been a while. I respect you. We've always come across each other. Let's go grab lunch. Let's go grab coffee. You build a relationship. I treat it just like my transactional business, my production business. You treat it like you build the relationship, the business is going to come. And invite people to coffee. Invite people to events. I love that you guys are doing ahas. I love it because I'm seeing them pop up all over the country. I know regional rallies, this is not going to be very popular, I'm sure. The regional rallies make me crazy. And I've told corporate this, and they're like, why don't you like the regional rallies? I said, because they're not consistent, first of all. You don't have people, real estate agents aren't necessarily event planners. And then you say, okay, everybody, go spend $49.99 to walk across stage and be recognized. I just think that's so weird. No, a lot of them are new agents. A lot of them don't have the funds for $49 to walk across the stage. Find ways to elevate them in other events. Do the ahas. Don't put people on stage, though, that aren't with eXp. Don't give them that platform. But when they come on board, and that's what I've done, we just got a great YouTuber that just joined us, and she's super excited. She said, oh my gosh, you're putting me up on stage. I was like, yeah, let people see how awesome you are. So give people opportunities that way. But I don't know about lead gen. I know what a number of them are doing, so I don't want to say it out loud because I'm like, but I would say, figure out what's authentic to you. You guys have this amazing group. Look at this. This is amazing. Get out there. If you're into social media, do a lot of social media going, oh my gosh, we've had this networking retreat for the weekend, and this is what we were doing. People are watching you guys without you knowing they're watching you. And they're like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that culture and that community. But I can't really answer that except y'all just figure out what makes sense for you. For me, it's events. For me, and it's going to be a lot more events this year, a lot more speaking, and a lot more coffees, not lunches. Lunches get long and they get expensive, but coffees, yeah.
I think it's the perfect answer to my question, actually.
Good, okay.
It's amazing because when you come in, you was like, oh, who are the people? Even though that we are all together under your wings in your organization, right? But the way that we are running our business, I think it's built up based on your foundations of what we said that we want to build based on relationship. We want to build how we want to add more values into agents coming in, not just because, hey, join me because eXp is cool. It's more than that. It's about relationship, about how we can having collaboration together, and that's amazing because he was my mentor, and I just, oh, Elizabeth is doing this. It's amazing. And basically, you are in influence. You create impact to all of us who you don't even know that we are here.
Yeah.
And we're doing exactly the same thing. We were talking about how we can setting up with coffee with agents. Now I reconsidering my lunchtime because Now I'm learning along the way as I'm talking to Elizabeth. We're all talking about how we can more mindful when it comes to our time and our money as well.
Yeah.
Just because we have to be mindful of how we want to grow our business. At the end of the day, we want to be profitable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I send books a lot. If there's certain books that you like, or when I'm sitting down with somebody at coffee, just say, hey, I read this book. There's a book called Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. I love this book. I actually was just in the training again in Orlando with Renee Funk, who, by the way, Renee is coming. Do y'all know Renee Funk? Okay. She's amazing. She's speaking in Inman on this as well, but she's coming to Austin to do a 2-day certification in October. And I think it's only limited to 16 people. So if y'all are interested, you definitely want to jump into that. But that book is short and succinct, and it's awesome, and it's made an impact on my business. It's really about the person who's asking the questions is in control of the conversation, and it's helping you. It should be called Exactly What to Ask, because it's really about the questions you should ask. When I'm in an attraction meeting or even a production meeting or whatever it is, I ask a ton of questions, right? I have a listing with a pretty high-end client later today, and I'm just going to ask him a ton of questions. I want to figure out what his motivations are, why he's selling, why I'm the best fit for him. It's the same thing with production, with attraction. I find that book, and most people hadn't heard of his book. So I've got those, and so I'm like, hey, I thought of you. I would love to go to lunch or coffee, and here, this is a gift for you, and I give them that book. It doesn't cost a lot. Or I send it in the mail as a follow-up, right? I'm doing things to build that relationship. But yeah, coffee is much easier. It's shorter. Usually it's like an hour, right? Lunches can go on. And to be fair, okay, I know that you've mentioned this. I didn't realize you were in my org. Like, where are you in my org, by the way?
5th level.
You're my 5th level. Okay. But here's the cool thing. You reached out and asked me to do this. I didn't even know you were in my org. And I said yes. And when you do that for more people, we're all eXp. If you guys were not in my org, I would still be in the same seat. Okay, because we're all going to win. So just think of things like that and opportunities. But yeah, just find ways to communicate. People are making moves right now. And you don't realize their pain. You got to figure out the pebble in their shoe. And when you ask enough questions, we just brought a $100 million Compass team over. Yeah, 2 female team leads. One's in Austin and one's in Denver. $100 million. Now, from the outside, you look at Compass and you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so well and they're winning, and right? Right. Then you start having those conversations and you start figuring out what the pebble in their shoe is. We're like, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. And then they get curious. And the conversation, that took 4 months. 4 months, and they came over. $100 million production team. Let me tell you, that turned some heads. Who knows Terrence Murphy in College Station?
Yeah.
Okay. Terrence Murphy had a $1.2 billion independent brokerage. You want to talk about intimidating? Yeah. This guy played in the NFL. This guy's amazing. $1.2 billion in College Station, Texas. The price points aren't very high there. He was introduced to me. I went to A&M, but he was introduced to me as referral sources back and forth between Austin. And one day I started talking to him. He's a broker. He's on top of the world. He's never doing anything. Took me 4 years for him to finally understand. And here's what happened. He's, Elizabeth, I don't want to ever talk about eXp. That's fine. Your friendship is more important to me than that. But then I was watching him, and I was figuring out what his pain was. He was trying to expand. His pain was he didn't want to just be in College Station. He wanted to be in Houston. He wanted to be in Tyler. He couldn't figure out how to expand around the state, much less internationally. Gary Keller was meeting with him one-on-one. Compass, they were all after him. And I said, I got your solution. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, you're trying to expand, right? Yeah. I have your solution. You don't have my solution. Nobody else does. Gary Keller, those minds don't even have the solution. I said, are you open-minded to listening to me and showing? And he said, okay, sure. 4 years it finally took him, and he recognized because we could expand. And he just launched into Dubai. One of his business partners in Atlanta is a broker in Dubai, and she's completely killing it over there. So now when he was trying to expand with 20 agents, Now he's got 400 globally because he joined and partnered with us. So you listen to the lessons and you listen to the pain and you figure out what their pain point is, whether it takes them a week to get it or 4 years. My team leader in Georgia, I told you, that told me I was crazy. Remember when I said I was going to eXp, and he said, you're crazy? He watched me for 7.5 years. He joined us last September. Okay? So it's not.
Did he say, I wish?
Oh, he says it all the time. All the time. And he is fired up. Because the narrative that people think isn't always accurate, but we're just talking and they're not listening if we're trying to overcome that narrative. But they watch you and he sees what we're doing. And then he's paying more attention to what other people are doing. He joined us in September and he's on fire. He's like, why did I not listen to you? I was like, it wasn't the right timing. Just stay in relationship with them, but because you really, truly want to be in relationship with them. But stay in touch with them because people are making moves. These other models are challenged, y'all. They're expensive. They keep changing. Mm-hmm. They keep changing the fees on the agents. Glenn said he's not changing anything that's going to negatively impact the agents. And he stands behind that. Now let's talk about the copycats for a minute.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. Okay. There's always, if you watch Glenn's video, he's day one company. Amazon was the day one company. There's a lot of other online opportunities that you can use from Amazon, but they are the leader in that space, right? eXp is the day one company in the cloud-based space, and there's only a little bit of the market that the cloud-based brokerages even have. There's 1.6 million real estate agents in US. In the cloud-based space, take eXp, take LPT, take Epic, take Real, take Canzel, take all the little copycats. Combined, maybe there's 150,000 agents. Okay? We have opportunity in the cloud-based space. Most people that are going to make a move aren't going to go backwards. So they're not going to go backwards to Caldwell Banker or Keller Williams. They're seeing it forward. The copycats see what we're doing, but here's what's happening. They aren't in growth mode yet. They haven't hit those pain points that we already got through in 2018. So we're way ahead of the game. And a lot of people are saying, we can get in the ground floor. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's talk about Real's they're not a new company anymore. They've been around 10 years, okay? In January 2018, Real had 1,000 agents. eXp had 5,000 agents. Pretty similar.
Yeah, not much different.
January 2024, okay? Now where are we? We're at 90,000 agents. They're at 10,000 agents. The industry and the market and the consumers and the agents are choosing the better model and the better platform. Are people going to go to this other company or these other ones? Absolutely. But we have more experience, we have more resources, we have more profitability. And you know what's really cool about it? Is we're owned by the agents. 78% of the company is owned by the agents. 40% of Real, and I'm beating up on Real just because I know a lot about all of them, but just to give you guys an example, apples to apples. 40% of Real is owned by P&E companies, private equity firms, outside of the industry. You know the founder owns less than 3% of his own company now? Because when you're selling your soul to the devil, everybody else wants their money first. And what's going to happen? They're going to impact the agents. They just changed the fees on the agents again. They just changed their model again. We're not doing that because they're having to be reactive because we figured it out and we were so far ahead of the game. Are we going to have competition? Yeah, I'm having competition because we don't get lazy. If you have no competition, you're going to get complacent. And there's no growth when you're comfortable.
That is perfectly stating.
So it's fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's going to be competition, and everybody's, oh, what about this company? What about, it's noise. Why are you putting any energy in these other companies? Don't. Put energy into what we know, what we're doing, what we're building together. We're going to be the victor because we already are. And those people that want to go over there, awesome. That doesn't mean that they're any less than important to me as a relationship. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. Maybe they find something that's a better fit for them. That just means go find the people that are a fit for us. Because we're not a fit for everybody and not everybody's a fit for us, but we have opportunity. We only have 90,000 agents. And that's globally. Michael Valdez is on fire, by the way. I'm going to bring him to an AHA in Austin. He promised me he would. And so when he comes into Austin, I know, he's so funny. I'm a Texan now, not quite, but he's going to come down. So when he comes down too, I'll make sure y'all know too, if you guys want to travel up, but there's a lot of opportunities. So people get all hung up on the competition. Don't give them any energy. It's just noise. So that's what's really fun about what we're doing.
That is so good to hear it from you, because we maybe 3 years, 4 years, or just joined eXp. There's so much doubt in general. Is it true? Are we in the good? Did we make the right choice?
Yeah.
But hearing it from you, almost 20 years in real estate, almost 9 years, 10 years.
9 years in May,
Yeah. At
Crazy.
eXp, to hear it from you, it just reassures whatever we're doing, that we just have to judge the process, but the progress that we're working on right now, and keep going.
And the leadership that we have. We have amazing leadership, y'all. I have the gift of being here a long time, so I've been able to build those relationships. But let me explain to you who Glenn Sanford is. You'll know him. He's a visionary. He's brilliant. He's so humble. The same person that I met with when he had 400 agents is the exact same person now. On paper, he's worth a whole lot more, I think. But he's still that same person, right? Money, no, he's very introverted. So money, none of that stuff has changed him. And what's great about Glenn is I asked him one day, I knew what his answer would be, but I asked him in a public setting. I said, Glenn, you've done so well with eXp. You've got a multi-billion-dollar company. When do you say, you know what, I'm all good, I'm done. I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. And he said, never. He said, I'm a creative. He said, Warren Buffett still works, doesn't he? And he's in his 90s. And he said, when you love what you're doing and you're a visionary and you're a creative, he said, if I'm not doing this and continuing to help agents and be innovative, he goes, I'm dying on the vine. So you have a leader like that who's focused on building the agents and focused on being agent obsessed for the right ways and making sure the agents have the ownership. He's the only one, y'all, that actually was a real estate agent. So he understands our pain points. He understands what it's like. He was never in real estate. Those people don't really know what it's like to be an agent.
Yeah.
LPT, they weren't in real estate. He was in the mortgage industry, and he has a horrible industry reputation because he was known for cutting out the agents on the mortgage side so he could build his wealth. So you're going to build your mortgage company by saying, oh, you know what, don't bring your agent to the transaction, and if you don't, then I'll give you this much money in closing costs to cut out the agent. But now you're going to build a real estate agent or a real estate company. He wasn't a real estate agent. Compass, Robert Refkin was never in real estate. If you start looking at what people's motivations are, sometimes it's just money. Sometimes it's just notoriety. Glenn is truly at the heart and core of this company, focused on making this industry better for all of us. And I love being in leadership, or I love being aligned with leadership like that. And then you have Michael Valdez, who was 15 years at Realogy. Y'all, he did the expansion internationally. The man is brilliant. And he came here. Everybody was after him. He came here because he was, this is fun. This is opportunity. And he's amazing. You've got Carolyn Merchant, our CMO. All these people are in alignment, and the leadership we have is so incredibly in tune. That's where I want to hang my hat, with those great people. So.
Yeah, and I think we do see it. When Glenn Stanford and Jason was able to just hop up on the Zoom with us, just say Happy New Year.
Yeah.
In Vietnamese, in Chinese. They did, and that's so cute. They actually, can you believe they have a little note? And when we say this is how you do, it's like, okay, write it down. Really try to say
Oh,
it right
I love that.
to support our eXp Asian network.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, and that's why I am all in with eXp.
Yeah.
And I love to be, and I love to find more leaders and to expand our communities, because together we can do so much better.
See, your energy is infectious for other people, because a lot of people, and all of y'all are the same thing, a lot of people aren't having that, they're not having fun right now. People want to have fun again. And them seeing you succeed and all getting together and taking time, just that story, what you just said there, like that shows people what kind of leadership you're locking arms with. And that's a cool story I would share with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I love all the golden nuggets that you've been sharing with our group. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
We hope that we can lock you in here and just drill you into
I'm here.
for 5 hours. But I know that you have a listing appointment to go to. I know
good.
you go into New York tomorrow.
What time is it right now?
So
2? I've got a few minutes. If you guys have do y'all have questions, what's helpful for you?
So just open up.
Yeah.
Questions for this.
Could you based on production as well?
Yeah.
Because I think that based on what we go through in 2023, 2024, production still attracts. And
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
we're all about attractions now. We want to be the best with the best because we don't care about cutting little costs here and there. We're
Yeah.
copycat. Right? Can you touch a little bit about your outlook for a year and what are some of the way that you see working production-wise for
Sure.
2024?
For me?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm excited about 2024. 2023 was down for me. 2022 was my best year ever in real estate. But what was so cool is I didn't have to get focused on that my year was down, everybody's year was down, but we had stock and all these other things that kind of made it not so difficult. I'm excited about 2024 for a number of reasons. I think the outlook from consumers, or I would say at least my clients, is positive. They're starting to see rates come down. There's a little bit more confidence in the market, but I'm also educating them as well. They know that I'm their resource. They know that I'm their partner in the business. And I don't send out emails or mass things like that because first of all, it all gets lost. But I'll send Reach, again. I have all my clients in Reach, and then I have my database. But I'll send out messages saying, hey, I was just checking in. How are you doing? I don't like talking on the phone. And that's just me. But when I'm in the car, I voice text a lot. And I'll just go down the list. I'm like, hey, John, it's been a while. I just want to say hi. How are you doing? What's really great right now, I wouldn't say it's really great, but the freeze gives you a reason to call people. I hope you guys survive that freeze. I cannot believe how cold it is in Texas. Okay, do you need anybody? How are your pipes? Do you need a roofer? Do you need any vendors? I had a client who was like, yeah, a tree actually went through the roof. Who do you have? I was like, Kobe. Kobe's my go-to. Kobe was on top of it. Figuring out how you can serve them in the moment and even just calling and saying hello. It's been a while. If you're not staying in touch with your clients, that's okay. Now's the time to start. They're not sitting by their phone going, oh, he hasn't called me in 6 months. They're not paying attention to that. So for me, I'm taking this opportunity to be more intentional in my relationships with my clients for production. Again, my business is 100% referral. I did almost about 37 million in 2022, 100% referral. Last year I did about 30. I was supposed to do another 8, and then that all fell apart. So hopefully that'll happen in Q1. I'm not looking at them as a transaction, but if I can serve each one of those people, that's a lot of production for me. For some people, it's a lot. For other people, I'm nothing. But those people know people. The listing I have today, it'll probably be 1.5 or 2 million. I've sold 3 of the houses on that same street. Wow. They talk about me. You've got to talk to Elizabeth. In fact, this guy has been very challenging. I don't even know if I want to take it. But I found out he's a CEO of one of the credit unions here. Okay, do you think he knows people? If I can wow him and just treat him like my only client, who do you think he's going to cascade my name and information out to? So for me, I'm just taking a list of everybody. And I'm saying, if you call people, call them. Hey, I just wanted to say hi. But not to sell them on anything, not to ask them for business, not to say, who do you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? You don't want them to think you're looking at them like a paycheck. So I don't ever say that. I stay in touch with my clients every single month with a direct mail piece. One of the things I did for January is just thank you for your referrals. Because of your trust in me, I was able to serve 72 families or whatever the number was. Not, hey, I sold 72 homes. Serve. And then I made a donation to News Story. I have a house being built for a family in El Salvador. And so now I have that update on the back. And now they have a QR code and they can follow up with that. So now that's another reason I can touch them. So I'm finding unique ways to stay in touch with them on a monthly basis. And then I follow up with a text. But call them and just say hello. That's the best script in the world. Hi, how are you? It starts a conversation. But right now, the freeze, I'm getting a lot of traction from that. And I'm not taking advantage of it, but I'm using it as an opportunity because now I can say, look, here are all the resources we have, but the vendors love this too because now it's helping them get more business. I'm just being very intentional with those relationships with the people I already know. eXp has so many, if you're not referral based or if you're newer and you're trying to build that up, Revenos is huge opportunity for eXp agents. Leo was just talking. I'm on the alpha call every week, and we were talking about the numbers. Revenos gave out 22,800 leads within 2 eXp agents in 2023, which resulted in closed volume of $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion that came in. We're all shareholders, y'all. That's more income and revenue that came in because of a program that we created internally for lead sources. If you think about Bundle Select, or you think about OpCity and Home Story and Express Offers and relocation and luxury, all of this stuff, get really involved in that, become certified, understand what you have, because there's a lot of lead sources there too. Yeah. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Figure out a couple different ways that you can generate business, and don't be so reliant on one. And so I think for me, the relationships are going to be a lot more involved, and just be knowledgeable. Use the rates. Use that as confidence. And a lot of mine didn't even care about the rates. They don't care. They're still buying. I think what happened, and don't, oh my gosh, don't go out there like, this is the great time to buy. How do you know it's a great time to buy? Until you talk to you and understand. When people ask you about the real estate market, is it great? How's the market? I'm like, unbelievable. That can go either way. It'd be unbelievably bad or unbelievably good, but unbelievable. Why do you ask? Why do you ask, right? Yeah. Ask questions. Why do you ask? You don't know why they're asking. This is a funny story, and it's off topic for a minute, but I have a 17-year-old. My oldest is 17, and I'm freaking out because he's going to graduate from high school. And I was in this training thing, and he and his best friend told me a couple months ago, Mom, we've decided we're going to get our real estate license, and we're going to eXp, and we're going to sell a house before we graduate. I'm like, awesome. And he goes, I'm going to do all this commission. I was like, oh no, it's called referrals. Let me explain to you training and all this other stuff. Okay. But they've grown up in the business. He's watched me. He knows all about eXp. Years ago, he took his allowance money. He took $40 and put it in eXp stock. And then it split and all this stuff. He was like, Mom, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, there you go. But he's going to get his license. So he told me, Mom, I started my license. I'm like, awesome. So I'm in this training, and he sends me a message. He's, Mom, is the market still down? Mm-hmm. And I feel like, oh, this is a great training opportunity for my son. Okay. And I said, why do you ask? And he goes, I'm just trying to understand, is the Austin market down? I know it's been down. I said, buyers are always buying, sellers are always selling. It really depends on how you build your business. So I go into this whole mama so proud training, okay? And he goes, I need to do a video on this because it's absolutely hilarious. He goes, okay, gotcha, so it's down. And I said, no, not necessarily. I was like, Chip, you got to understand, great opportunity happens in down markets. I said, I built my business, this is all in text. I built my business in 2008, and my business has been thriving ever since. And he's like, all right, I understand, it's down. And so I asked him again, I said, where are you getting this question from? And he said, my mind. I said, why are you asking this question? And he goes, because I asked Dad to bring me Chick-fil-A up to school, and he said, we're trying to make sure our finances are in order because the market's down. I'm like, he goes, so I was trying to see if it's really down because Dad won't bring me Chick-fil-A. I was like, okay, all my dreams are smashed. I thought you were really trying to build this real estate thing, and you just want Chick-fil-A. Yeah. I was like, yes, the market is down. Go eat your lunch. But yeah, but it's just funny because you just don't assume. Just ask questions. Right? Yeah. Why do you ask? Yeah, why do you ask? Exactly what to say is pretty amazing. And it's changing the way you ask questions and just staying in curiosity. So I just stay in curiosity and I ask a whole lot of questions. Most times, like today, when I'm asking this guy his motivations and figuring out like whether I have to get to a certain price, whether I have to get to a certain time frame, whatever it is, I'm just going to keep asking questions until I get it down to the area that I need it to be, right? Not manipulating, just being curious. That's what I'm doing for the 2024. Every month, I have it scheduled. Okay, January I'm doing this, February I'm doing this. I'm doing that now, so I'm being proactive, not reactive. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Great question.
Yeah, I like the questions.
Yeah, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you organize your calendar or time in terms of agent attractions versus production?
Yeah.
Days?
Time blocking is a big deal. For a long time, I let my calendar control my schedule. I put in the things that are important to me. That means kid pickup. It's blocked in my calendar. And I use Calendly quite a bit. Calendly is a big deal. I have 15 minutes. What was happening is people were just putting all these things on there, and I was being very reactive. I can't do that. And then I'm jumping on calls, and I don't know what the call is about, and I just don't like to be unorganized. Calendly I use, but I use different time slots. I have a 15-minute call. If somebody, and don't use the word pick your brain. Oh my gosh, when people are like, hey, can I pick your brain? No, let's collaborate, let's conversate. Don't pick my brain. But I have a 15-minute collaboration call. So if somebody's, hey, Elizabeth, can we, and if it's usually an eXp agent or something like that, then I have a 30-minute call. Then I have a 45-minute attraction call. So it's specific for attraction. I have the video. I am not a big fan of the videos. It doesn't work for me, but it works for some people. However, it's just like a pre-listing packet. Okay, I send out pre-listing packets before I ever go on a listing because I want them to have all the information. It sets me apart from everybody else. I want them to have information about me, and then I don't have to sit in a listing for 3 hours because we just covered it all in a pre-listing packet before I got there, right? The videos can do the same thing. So I put in my Calendly before I will meet you with you for an attraction call, you have to watch this video. Because what I don't want to do, and you don't want to do it, and you don't want to do it, is you don't want to get a call and say, okay, hi. And then somebody says, what are the splits? And what's the joining fee? I'm like, no, that's not a good use of any of our time. Calendly is big for that. And I have a 45-minute, I used to do an hour. And then I realized I was like, that 15 minutes is precious time, right? You want to control the conversation. And for an hour, you're just still talking. And I'm like, what happens if I bring it to 45 minutes? And I was getting much more done, and it was a much more impactful call. So I do that quite a bit. What I was doing is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'd have 9, 1, and 3 for attraction calls. And it was sloppy. So now I just send out my Calendly link. And they know that they have to schedule with me, and I have to confirm it, but they have to do the work before the work. Yeah.
Amazing. Great
Yeah.
tip. Yeah, I am working on that because that's true. Like you want to make the best use of your time and don't extend it.
And I'm very protective of my org. And that's a lot of people, but I'm very protective about my org. What happens is a lot of people outside of my org want to get on my calendar. And I'll do that because we're all one eXp. We're all there together. However, if it's somebody outside of my org or usually somebody really deep, I need to understand what I'm walking into too. So I have a jot form where they have to tell me everything about the call before I'll schedule it, before I'll release my Calendly link, just so I can understand. I don't want to, this is going to sound bad. I don't usually spend my time on newer agents, right? I can help you get to a certain point. And there's so many other resources for newer agents. A lot of my time is used for teams, big producing individuals, things like that. So I want to get all that information up front so I can walk in there informed and represent them well in eXp. But Calendly is great. Yeah.
Thank you.
That makes us even more appreciation because you're taking your time be here in person
Yeah.
for the last an hour, share to us about everything that you have in the book.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate it. Any other last questions that we want to ask Elizabeth? You.
Yes. So my name is Tran Paul and I'm from Houston.
Nice to meet you.
I got like one year and a half in real estate. And I want to ask, like you are saying about like 90% of your business is from referral, right?
100 is.
Yeah, what 100%. So I'm saying, how can I in your agent referral list?
Oh, I like it. I like it. See, you go for the ask. Let me know. Send me your information. In fact, what's crazy about that is I need to figure out how, I want to do this in the AHA Club too, but I think we need to have a list. Actually, you know what you need to do first of all is in your profile, make sure you have the market you serve. In Workplace, it has your name. Make sure you all go in there and have the market that you serve, because most times what I'll do is I'll just go in and look for the city. I'm not going to go through the referral program or the icons or whatever. I'm going to go see, and then I'm going to do my own research up front. So a lot of people do that. But yeah, let me know. I don't have a lot going back and forth between Houston, but a lot of it comes inbound because I'm speaking all the time. But yeah, I always want to give 3 people and I want to interview, and I don't always give them to the icons. I want to give them to everybody so everybody wins.
It's like new agent only work hard for the lead.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love your grit on that. So send me a Workplace chat and I'm going to make sure you're added on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Now everyone has to get on Workplace.
Yeah.
Everyone
Oh.
has to get active on Workplace.
You have to use Workplace. It's one of Glenn's favorite tools.
And also, it's like for the referral, it's like, I mean, it's like we have a lot of past clients, so I try to follow up them, so they gonna be like, maybe they're gonna referral their friend and family to me.
Yeah.
But I feel it's like, so after the closing, of course, I'm gonna give them some gift, if they're nice, if the closing is good.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year too. So, but after that, do you think it's good that we keep follow up, give the gift any year for them, follow up them?
I don't give them a gift, but I stay in touch with them every single month.
Every single month?
Every
all
single
the
month.
Past clients?
All of my past clients and anybody in my database that's my sphere, not even past clients. I get a lot of referrals from people I've never helped buy or sell because they're in their house already or they don't need to, but I stay in touch with them I just sold a house last month from somebody that was in, remember I told you when I first moved to Texas, I lived in a townhouse community? I just sold one of those townhouses from me meeting my neighbor in 2008 because I stay in touch with them because here's what you got to understand. Everybody knows a bunch of real estate agents, but they're not staying in touch with their people consistently. So if they see you every single month, and I don't send real estate stuff. I don't send it just listed, just sold. Everybody does that. So if you have 5 people sending the same thing, how are you going to set yourself apart? I send other stuff that's different. I don't even know. That's a whole nother training. But it sets you apart so then they see you and they're like, oh, yeah, Elizabeth. Oh, yeah, I know somebody. I send out a gift card, a $500 gift voucher, which I can send this to one of y'all and y'all can share it and you can go on Canva and create this. Rip off a duplicate. I write a letter to them in January. Happy New Year. I had a great year with my family. I write a letter to my friend.
You write by your hand?
This one I do on a Word document. I do a lot of handwritten notes though. And then I make a Canva business card. It says $500 gift certificate. It doesn't have to be $500. It can be $250. It can be $100. It doesn't cost you anything. And then it says, on your next real estate transaction, refer to your friends or family or what have you. I don't put an expiration date on it. And I put it in that envelope with my letter and I send it to them. And they hold on to that. And why do they hold on to that? What if they're going to buy or sell or they know somebody? I get referrals all the time from that $500 gift voucher, which once we go under contract and we're at closing, then they get $500 credited back to them. I don't write them a check. I don't know what your price point is, but ours is $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. You commission on that.
That's right.
$500, no big deal.
Yes.
Or $100 or what have you. I do things like that so people hold on to it instead of something that goes in the trash. And I don't spend a lot of money on it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing that you can do everything. Like I cannot imagine it's like you can do all your past client like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I have, but it's not just like I said, I probably have 500 that I handwrite notes to. I just write them a note. During this Thanksgiving, this is what I did. During this season of gratitude, I just want to let you know I'm thankful for you. I hope you have a great holiday. XOXO Elizabeth. That's it.
XOXO.
Yeah, Elizabeth. And then my envelope, so my card isn't Lux Property Group or real estate, but my envelope, the return address says Lux Property Group or your favorite real estate agent in Austin and things like that, so that I'm still staying in touch with them. But I do that consistently, and I have for 18 years. Consistency is the key. Good, good. And when I come down to Houston, whatever y'all want me to speak on, I know a lot of y'all have seen my marketing to your sphere, but I can teach on that. I can teach on luxury. I can teach on whatever you want. But I show you everything that I do, and we all have different businesses. And
I just cannot believe somebody with that level of success with icon in 12,000 agents who are gonna be, hey, I can be in the same room. I can be an open book. I can share with you all of this. What is helpful for me? So it's just really mind-blowing experience so far, and I feel like everybody is doing the same.
good. Is this helpful for y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know everybody's all cozy and they're ready to go to sleep, but yeah, no, that's what we're here for. Again, if nobody's doing success or nobody's making deals happen, there's no revenue share, there's no stock that's going up, there's no freedom for all of us. It's not competition, it's collaboration.
Yeah. By ending this section, you want to ask your question before Elizabeth come in, Kay? About what is your plan after?
I was asking her, what is your plan if you reach to 10,000 agents under revenue share? I wouldn't think that I would work at that time anymore.
I
But
know.
After listen to your story, I think that you're doing it by passion now. It's not
Yeah.
about the money.
It's not about income. When it's not about income, it's about impact. And I'm all about the impact now. And that's going to look different. But like I said, for my family, I changed the family dynamic because I retired my husband. And now because my kids didn't have a relationship with him. So now I have my family, and that's really what it's about. My mom, my parents, I grew up with nothing. We had a lot of foster children. We had a lot of love to give, but we had nothing. And so my mom and my stepdad were working because they had to. And they're in their late 70s. So I paid off their home. So now they can work because they want to, not because they have to. Now they're fulfilling their passion projects and things like that. So I think we can all make our communities, our families, the world better, one person at a time, by changing your life. And it's not about the income. I don't know what I would do with myself. I love my children, but I don't want to stay home all the time. I'm like, I need to work. I don't know. A lot of them are retired and doing, but if you think about it, you actually still see people that are doing even better than me. Look at Brent Gove. He's still doing events all the time. He doesn't have to do that. Gene doesn't have to do what he does. Cliff Freeman has a team of 40, I think, in Dallas. Because it's not about the income anymore. It's about really changing lives, and there's no other real estate company that can say the same. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you all for having me. This was fun. Oh yeah, I've got to go.
Thank you so much. So people, can we do one group picture?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You got to share though.
So
You got to share with
I
me.
think the background is really nice. So if Elizabeth can be right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
I love all your wealth charts that you guys have built out. Look at that.